Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Twin Flames Universal Live today. We are going to be discussing the mistakes that you do not want to make on your twin flame journey. I am Kanisha. I'm a certified ascension coach, and I also have other ascension coaches here with me. We have Rachel, Danny, and then Paco and Deb, who are in Union. And so we're going to go ahead and get started because we have some juicy topic of just these mistakes that you do not want to make. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know that if you do find that you're making these mistakes on your journey, or that you have, the gift and the beauty of a twin flame union is that you can't mess it up. So we're here to help you have a smoother journey and to help you stop making these mistakes. And we'll go right into it. So the first one we want to talk on is going to be not approaching your twin flame union like a soulmate union. Does anyone want to get started on how they've experienced this within their own journey?
Well, this one is definitely a challenge because, what we know so far and how we've been raised is the soulmate way to relate with our twin flame, with a couple, with a partner. And so every time we have a relationship, we kind of like, it's kind of like you start trying to um, see, okay, what am I gonna give up? What are you gonna give up? Like, what are we gonna negotiate? How are we gonna make this work? So that's how usually relationships are built upon, that um, dynamic. And so when you try to do that with your twin flame, everything goes really bad because your twin flame, it's you. And so if you start trying to negotiate with yourself, it's just you're going to experience a lot of hell in your relationship and you're not going to be happy, like you're constantly going to be in pain and you're constantly going to experience separation as well. So that's I think that's one of the main reasons why it's so important that we don't treat our twin flame like a soulmate, because they are not a soulmate. In any other relationship it might work, that you need to negotiate, you need to find a way, you need to try to understand how the other person works and how you can accommodate and how the other person, like, those are, that's part of you having relationships. But with your twin flames, since your twin flame is you and since you're one with your twin flame, the only way you can have a beautiful and healthy relationship with your twin flame is if you treat the twin flame journey as the twin flame, meaning that you have to be willing to ground the truth at the core that twin flames are one and that you are one with your twin flame. And so the focus has always to be placed within you. You have to love yourself, because if you and your twin flame are one, which you are, then naturally when you are loving yourself, you are going to attract your twin flame. The twin flame journey is an attraction journey in that way. You attract your twin flame constantly, you align to your union constantly, you are always attracting your union when you are loving yourself and when you are using, and of course you need to use the proper tools, the proper support, the proper guidance to know what is, that you are actually moving through, what's going on, and how to navigate the journey. So it is important that you are grounded in the truth of what twin flames are and what your twin flame is to you, so you can start, to cultivate a beautiful relationship with your twin flame. Always remember that, yeah, your twin flame is your mirror. They're always going to mirror everything to you. So if you treat your relationship with your twin flame like that and you mirror what they present to you, you are not gonna be unhappy. You are gonna go deeper with peace, because you are gonna be able to heal. You're upset, you're gonna be able to transcend your upsets, and then your twin flame always meets you, in the other side. I mean, your twin flame is always with you. But when you have breakthroughs, as you heal, your twin flame is going to be there as well with you. So this is why it's very important that you treat your twin flame journey and relationship as a twin flame relationship. This is a very important thing to do, and not to do. Do not treat your twin flame as your soulmate, because they are not your soulmate. And You know, it doesn't matter how hard you try, the more you try to treat your twin flame as your soulmate, that is just gonna keep like kind of like backfiring back to you. And it's not, it's not healthy, and it's not loving. So I
Mhm.
mean, you can, make a core choice, and remember that your choices are powerful. And so if you choose to stop treating your twin flame as your soulmate, you are naturally going to start aligning to your twin flame as your perfect mirror, as this person that was created by God, to be with you, they are one with you. So this is crucial. I really like this mistake that, we have to avoid.
Yeah, it's really having to recognize that your twin flame is here to teach you how to master unconditional love. And I find that in soulmate relationships, it's a very conditional love. You do this for me, I do this for you. But in a twin flame relationship, it's I do this for me, and then God moves through my twin flame and shows me that same love back. It's a really beautiful dynamic of where you don't find each other as each other's sources. You have to go to God as your source, and you have to go within and give yourself what you need in order to really see that mirrored back to you by your twin flame. And like you said, a twin flame makes the same core choice. A soulmate does not. And so I have done this in my journey with my twin flame, where it looks like he's making a different choice than me, and I am upset with the choice. But then when I choose to truly heal it and get to a place of peace there, like you said, they meet you in that place. Even if it seemed impossible, when one of you truly heals the block, the other twin flame naturally meets you there because you are one, and you won't experience that with a soulmate. And so it is not appropriate to try to come at it at a soulmate dynamic. And that's why the mirror exercise is really the main tool that you need in order to heal separation with your twin flame.
Yeah, I like that when Danny was pointing and like seeing the twin flame as your mirror, because until we understand this is the dynamic that it's going on, we are kind of like gonna put our twin flame on the outside, like we would do with soulmate. Oh, this person is like has nothing to do with me. It's someone that's out there doing their thing. But like you were saying, Kanisha, when you recognize that place of oneness at the core, then it's easier actually to treat it, the relationship, for what it is. And like Danny was saying, it makes it even easier to go deeper. And of course, like you will experience this wonderful romance between the two of you, like you've seen in the movies and everything. The way of to go about it is very different, and that's okay. Twin flames are much more fun in truth. Like I had that experience with the soulmate, and it always felt like, yeah, this is not really going very far, is it? Like this negotiating thing that Danny was mentioning, was like, I'm gonna take this away and maybe see if you give something like in return, and wasn't really always working like that. I was like, nah, that this is not gonna last very long. This is not what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through that with my twin flame, like we were negotiating, and that I was so unhappy and he was so unhappy, and we both were so frustrated with each other, like very like deeply frustrated. Like it was just really sad, and we both like we were like, why is this not working? And then kind of like have that like breaking point where like well, like it is not gonna work that way. Like I feel like those are the moments where I guess like when you have those breaking points, when you realize that nothing that you've been doing is working. And then you get to that point where you just break, like, and you're like, okay, I surrender. Like, I don't know what to do. And I feel like that's actually, what happened to me when I found these teachings. Like, I was seeing my twin flame, we were friends, and then we were dating, like it was really back and forth. And I tried everything in my power, everything that I knew and that had worked and didn't work before, everything and nothing worked with him. And so it was that time where like I was like, okay, I give up, like I surrender. I don't know how to handle this, so I'm just gonna look for help. And that's when I was, Googling and searching twin flames and everything, and I found this work. And so throughout my relationship with my twin flame, every time I get to this point, let's say I'm frustrated because we are just not understanding each other. It's really because I am not fully applying the teaching of union that is taught by Jevon Shaliam. And so I always recommend, my clients and everyone to fully apply the teaching, to do the mirror exercise, that is taught in the books Twin Flame Find Your Ultimate Lover, because these are the tools that help you be aligned with yourself, that help you love yourself, that help you have that unconditional love that Kanisha was sharing, that she was telling, and how important that is in your twin flame journey. So every time I have this break point with my twin flame and I just let go of what I think I know, I let go of what I think, whatever it is that it's not aligned with love, every single time I go deeper and deeper with the teachings of union and this work, it works. And it's actually so easy, like it's really merely the resistance that we have to feel our feelings that keep us separate from actually having success with our twin flames. And of course, it's easier said than done, release resistance. But actually, it is easy when you are very humble and like open to just be with your feelings. Because the moment you are with your feelings, we are beings of feelings. Jeff said this somewhere, and that because it's true, we're beings of feelings. And so when we make peace with that, when we accept that and we're naturally with our feelings, everything starts to change. Because now I'm not in my mind, treating your twin flame like a soulmate, you can fall into that game of you are all the time in your mind, but you have to step out of that space and connect with your heart. And that's when the teaching comes in, because you apply the teaching, you use the tools, and then you naturally start connecting with your heart, and then naturally you attract your twin flame, and you have your union. You're here because of that. You're here because you want your union, and there is a way. But it does require us to be very humble, especially when we get to those moments where like we realize that I don't know better. And I always keep telling that to myself. I don't know better. The more I know, the more I say, I don't know better, because God knows better. God always knows better. So all I have to do is to really do my inner work and be focused on, that devotion to my relationship with God and myself. And I know that everything else is going to be handled. And if everything else is just going to happen, and my twin flame is going to be there with me, and we're going to transcend. It requires a lot of faith, for you to choose to treat your twin flame as your twin flame and not as your soulmate. But, as you practice that, it becomes normal. And then it's easier and easier and easier. And you can, master the blocks and upsets, and you can just go deeper and be happy, that's the point.
Yeah, well, first of all, forgive me that I can't stop yawning. It's not because I'm bored or anything, but because there's a lot of healing energy passing through, and it can make you yawn quite a bit. I'm sure you've noticed that happening when you've been working with your coach. But anyway, treating your twin flame like a soulmate. Yeah, we are brought up with the soulmate paradigm, and to be honest, that feels really bad, because it's about playing games, it's about compromise, it's about an exchange of I'm giving you this, now you owe me love, now you give me this. And when you stop and feel into it, it does feel pretty bad by anyone's standards. And if you treat your twin flame in that way, if you try and impress them, or if you try, as you said, negotiate with them or have an exchange with them, it's all going to go horribly wrong very quickly. What you've got to do is let go of all the soulmate games. It's not anything on the outside that you can do that's going to attract your twin flame. It's all an inner journey. It's all about releasing the patterns, clearing the blocks, and loving yourself. And that brings them around. I was going to say, yeah, conventional relationships. Yeah, it's the journey's a process of unlearning a lot of the stuff that we've been taught. That's not going to help us. It's the old way of doing relationships, basic relationships, and we're moving away from that and moving into divine relationships. And when you do that, you'll find that divine relationships enter your life, not just with your twin flame, but with friends, family, all your relationships. It's a completely new way of being, a new way of living. It's okay to embrace that new way of being.
I love everything you said, because it's exactly what I experienced on my journey too. Kind of tried to treat my twin flame like a soulmate, and it didn't felt good because I controlled myself and my twin flame. Like with a soulmate, you have to control yourself that you are beautiful, or that you have the the personality,
The traits.
the traits your soulmate would like you to have.
So tell me, Paco, how well did it work to treat me like a soulmate?
My twin flame don't allow that because she don't likes it. One of our core values is honesty, and this honesty helps us to not do that, because she don't likes me treating her like I treat others, because she feels it. She don't like that I control myself, that I be something that I think she would like to have. No.
Oh God, no.
I can relax into my true self, and that feels so amazing. And when I try to control her, that she fits in a vision I have.
Oh God.
Oh my God, no.
How that works out, Paco? Please tell the audience.
No. It just doesn't work because it feels not good. And that is what everyone said. It's about the feeling. So we have to connect always with our feeling, that we feel, this kind of, there's something not feeling good. So what can I change here?
Yeah, this is kind of like leading towards another very common mistake, and that's very normal when we first come to this journey. A lot of us didn't really learn how to connect with our feelings rather than to push them away. And yeah, I'm gonna pretend like I don't feel like crap right now. I'm gonna put on a smile. I'm gonna just play dandy, and in the meantime, you feel like you're dying. So, like, I know that for me that was the case. It took me several months actually to practice the mirror exercise and actually be able to tap into my feelings, because I was mostly using my mind to solve problems. That's how I knew how to handle it. That's how I went through my journey before even knowing that I was in my twin flame journey. And before, of course, finding these teachings. So I was kind of like, okay, I cannot solve this with my mind. It's about feeling. It's about what is, like, getting clear on why is it not feeling good, but not by thinking it, but actually like having that inner conversation with myself. And the cool thing about this journey is, we have already touched upon a little bit on it, is that you only have to place the focus on you. You only have to learn how to love yourself unconditionally. And that's the beauty of the journey. It's, I think it's one of the most relaxing relationships I ever experienced, ever. Even when we have our challenges, and of course we have like these moments where either one of us is trying something the old way and still like kind of like grinding that part away. But otherwise it's like, oh, I just get to be me. But it's awesome. I don't have to like compromise anything. I can just be myself, my loud, messy, sassy self. Oh, that's cool. And like that's the beauty of it, actually. And this is exactly what attracts your twin flame. They will love you for who you are. The moment you put on a mask, they are like, what the fuck are you doing? And it actually like drives them farther away. So going back to this like kind of like second mistake to avoid is like, don't be afraid, your feelings cannot really harm you. It's just kind of like a passing cloud. And some of them may be a little bit more challenging, but there's a lot of resources here that you can certainly like tap into. We have like courses, classes, workshops. We have blogs, like there's free resources, paid resources. We have the Ascension coaches. We have the Twin Flame Ascension School classes, which are perfect to bring you into union and like keep you there. So it's okay, like take your time as you kind of like learn something new, like Rachel and Tanisha were like speaking about. It's relearning how to build a divine relationship, like Rachel was saying before.
Yeah, that does touch on both. We had 2 and 3, which was not ignoring your feelings and moving through the inner work, and then also not trying to do this journey by yourself, which you touched on. Like we have so many workshops, and we have the lives, we have Twin Flame Ascension Soul Life Purpose class, and you have Twin Flame Ascension coaches who have spent so many hours in their own journey and on themselves doing this inner work, and their job is to help you move through those same blocks. And so that is something that I'm grateful for and that I've had to heal myself, is not going and hiding while I am like moving through a really deep upset and trying to figure it out by myself. It's God gave me a community where I can reach out and I can share what I'm moving through, and you get so much feedback and so much help and love in this space so that you can move through the upset as quickly as possible instead of trying to figure it out. One of my favorite things that I heard in a class the other day was just saying, like, it's not your job to figure it out. That's God's job. But that's not something I would have ever known without this work. And so it allows yourself to make it easier on you by just surrendering and just doing the inner work and moving through the feelings completely and allowing yourself to truly receive the support and the love that is here for you and your union. And the more that you go deeper into receiving this work, the easier it'll be for your twin flame to receive this work as well. And then you can come into a place where you're healing together and doing this work together. That's also another process, but that's what an ascension coach is here for, is to help you start moving into that space of really having your twin flame here healing with you. The fourth one that I wanted to touch on was just when you do have that success, not taking it for granted and not stopping the things that you did to obtain your union in the first place. That is something that we have seen before, where people come in and they do this work and they are now in union with their twin flame or harmonious union with their twin flame. And then they're like, cool, I got the thing. Now I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing before. And that's how I'm going to keep it. And in truth, when you come into union and harmonious union, it's like, now it's the time where you got to like really buckle down, because a lot of deep things will start to come to the surface. And you really want to make sure that you are going full in with this work so that you can continue going deeper in your union with your twin flame.
And another big mistake that you need to avoid in your twin flame journey is blaming your twin flame for your upset, blaming your twin flame for what's going on in your life, blaming your twin flame for what has happened to you, blaming your twin flame for how your union is unfolding, blaming, pointing the finger. You need to avoid that. I know that that's not easy, because you are frustrated, your twin flame, let's say they are with somebody else, or your twin flame is rejecting you. No matter what you do, you don't see things changing and you get frustrated. And because you get frustrated, you feel bad, and then you blame them, and then you feel bad, and it just becomes like a cycle of just feeling like crap. So the solution is to like look for the exit, and take it. And that exit really is you not blaming your twin flame. But you, first of all, like I was saying at the beginning, when you acknowledge that you and your twin flame are one, it's way easier for you to see all of these patterns and upsets and things as one. Meaning, if your twin flame is avoiding you, instead of you blaming them for that, you can take responsibility for it. And you can use, that's when you can use the mirror exercise. And the mirror exercise, you use, every upset and you point it to yourself so you can change it. So if your twin flame is avoiding you, you switch that, back to yourself. I'm avoiding myself. That's my mirror. So is there any truth to that? And usually it's true, because your twin flame, if it's triggering you, then something inside you, somewhere inside you are doing that to yourself. So as soon as you recognize that, you bring love to that part of you. You connect with that part of you, and you ask that part of you what they need to feel loved, and you experience that love. You give yourself that love, and then you bring that part to part of you home. Of course, the mirror exercise is fully explained in the book, and it's also explained in the free introductory ascension course for twin flames. You can find it on the website twinflamesuniverse.com. But yeah, like what I was saying is, like, as soon as you recognize that this is or the upset that we share, oh yeah, I was actually blaming myself. I was actually avoiding myself. I was actually avoiding healing these deep wounds because I didn't know how to heal them, or because this felt really bad and I didn't want to feel it because I didn't want to feel bad, or I didn't want to see this because I felt maybe shame, or I felt guilt for having these upsets. Oh my God, and that's when you have clarity about your upsets, and then you love yourself there. And then just naturally, you start taking everything that your twin flame shows you back to you, and you start loving yourself. And guess what is going to happen while you are having that exploration, that self, that journey with yourself. Your twin flame it's kind of like getting closer to you. They are thinking about you. They start to miss you. They start to having the desire to contact you, because you are in the feeling your feelings room, the feeling your feelings, space. And so that's why this is a mistake that you want to avoid, blaming your twin flame, and start really taking responsibility. Now, another thing that people do, and I feel like we all do, it's that you might blame your twin flame because, let's say you're right. Let's say your twin flame is not treating you right, and they are disrespecting you. They are not valuing you. So you don't want to bring that to yourself, because you know that your twin flame is not valuing you, right? Or you know that your twin flame is avoiding you. But again, this is just a mirror of what you're doing to yourself. And so by loving yourself, by healing this, you are going to be able to value yourself. And then you're going to be able to even place boundaries if you need. You're going to be able to express to your twin flame how you want to be loved. And that's how you're going to love yourself. And that's how you're going to love your twin flame. And in that space, you start having a beautiful relationship. So, think of those things when you are afraid of maybe doing the healing work, think that whatever it is that you are triggered about, it doesn't matter that if you bring this to the mirror exercise, because the mirror exercise is going to help you heal that and transcend it, so you don't have to experience that again. So don't judge, what your twin flame is mirroring you. Again, instead of blaming, take all of that. That's how I got into union. I was like, I'm just going to write the mirror exercise 24/7. Everything that Ian is doing, I'm going to write it down. If I'm going to apply these teachings, and I'll see what happens, and I see if this works. And it did. And it's been 5 years of being in union with my twin flame, and the same thing over and over again. The less you blame your twin flame, the faster you get to your union, and the faster you get to harmonious union. And if you sustain that and you build a foundation, then that's it. You're set to have, a beautiful life with yourself and with your twin flame.
Yeah, I love that. Everything you said there. Expanding a little bit on blaming the twin flame and projecting one's upsets onto them. Yeah, guilty. I think we've all done that at some time or another, but it stems from a belief that that one is separate from their twin flame, and that's the lie. That's why it feels bad. They're not a separate person. They can't do anything independently. They will always show you what you're genuinely choosing. And yeah, sure, you might have made some new choices of love at the surface levels, but their behavior isn't changing because you need to keep making those choices deeper and deeper and deeper until you really get to the core. And it can take a while of doing the inner healing work to actually arrive at these really deep places where you can actually see, oh, so that's what I've been doing with myself. That's why they've been behaving this way. That's why they've been mirroring this and this and this. And it's yeah, it's a really lovely watershed moment in your healing to be able to reach these places that maybe haven't seen the light of day for years, and be able to have the clarity to know, oh, it's just this, it's just whatever it is. And we've already touched about the work continuing when union comes in. Like a lot of people have come into union and they think they've earned everything, they can party, and they stop doing the work and they party their way back into separation. Yeah, and sometimes they do the work and get back into union. Other people sometimes give up and drop out. But when union comes in, the healing can step up a gear. It can be more challenging in a way. However, you'll have more energy to deal with the challenges, and you'll be better able to deal with them. But stuff can come up after union that you thought you'd healed ages ago, and suddenly it arises again, and you think, "Not really? This again? I thought I'd healed this." But it's just the same drill. Chop wood, carry water before and after enlightenment.
Yeah, I like that because it rang a bell so loud. I remember, like, before coming to Austria, before hopping on a plane, I was like finally through with the credit card debt that I had. And then I came here and then like he broke the news to me, no, I have a bank credit. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, I thought I healed this. You're telling me that I'm kind of like having to go all the way back to the same thing again. And of course, it's a deeper layer. So I was like, absolutely 100% behind this. You come into union and not to scare anyone, but it does become a little bit more challenging because the mirror is like closer to you. It's not like far away somewhere over the rainbow. So it's gonna bring stuff that maybe you did not want to look at, that it's not the nicest thing.
It's right in your face now.
Yeah, and it's not like you can really run away from it at that point. You're kind of like very much conscious of who you are, which at least for you, you know that your twin flame is like your perfect mirror. So it's like,
Yeah, when you're coming in union, you're ready for it. So
yeah, supposedly you're supposed to be ready for it, and like the journey is gonna test you. Like, are you here just for the candy, or are you here for like the long run, for the actual relationship that you said you wanted? And even though it's challenging, and it becomes a little bit more challenging when we are together, it's far more rewarding. Like Rachel was saying, like after you move through the upset, whether you heal together or not, it doesn't matter. But it's like once the block is removed, oh, you feel like so much romance and so much love for each other, and feels so juicy.
it feels much better than partying. To party when it's the right time. And I learned that with romance attraction, partying is part of life, but when it's the right time, then it feels so juicy to party, and it feels so juicy to work. It feels so juicy to do inner work. It feels so juicy to go through this deep feeling that is in front of you, what you're twin flame is mirroring you the whole time, and you were projecting it on your twin flame. Okay, you did that mistake. I don't need to judge myself.
We did it
realized,
too, and
yes,
we are still here. Like,
okay, I did it. Maybe a year I judged. I was projecting it on my twin flame. Okay, and now I get it because I was watching Twin Flame Ascension School class, or I invested in the Romance Attraction e-course or Dreams Coming True e-course, and now I get it. Okay, I was pointing finger on my twin flame and I was not seeing the mirror. And in this, it's a mistake when you are in this point to judge yourself, because judging yourself will not help you to move through it.
yeah.
Okay, in truth, you should be happy. Yeah, I realized it. I can work through it when I'm just letting go of the judgment and letting go of controlling myself into feeling bad because I did it. Okay, I can move through it.
Yeah, judging, it's like not gonna really bring you much further.
No.
It actually will like slow you down.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, that's not a nice way of treating yourself. So of course it's gonna be mirrored by your twin flame almost immediately.
Yeah.
And like, oh, they're not treating me well. And like, yeah, they are your mirror.
Yeah, just
so
like
they are showing you something. Maybe you're not like, and that's okay. I love the Twin Flame Ascension School classes a lot because Jeff and Shelley are very clear about this, and I love this was said many times throughout different classes, but something that we also, that it's important for us to learn, I think is also kind of like a mistake that it's better when we learn to kind of like not do it, is to assume that you are not doing enough in your journey, that you're not healing enough because you're not seeing the results immediately. And it's a process. And like Paco was saying, your union comes when you're ready to receive it and actually like keep it. When it's compassionate for you to learn who your twin flame is. That was absolutely my case. And Jeff was like very adamant, like sometimes your best day would be getting out of bed and preparing yourself breakfast in your pajamas, and that's all you could do. And some other days it would be like doing 1,000 things in 5 minutes and then being able to chill. And then you're like, wow, I got so much done today. This is also in life purpose class. And that's like absolutely right. Like Danny was saying, we don't really know better. So it's not very appropriate to judge like what's going on in your journey, because it's also true, you don't see the bigger picture. God does. Like you're just working through the little pieces that you're handed, and it's like, okay, this doesn't make any freaking sense. I'm gonna just keep on sticking pieces of puzzle and hope that this makes sense at some point. And it does. Like it does, especially when you feel kind of like that big hairy block and everything falls into peace, and it's just like amazing. So before moving forward, because we are almost rounding up, everyone watching, you're more than welcome to pop a question. We have still a few minutes more to go, and if not, we attend them after the live as well, but don't be shy. This is the time.
Yeah, I had
like squeeze the juice out of
one more thing
us.
that I wanted to touch on. You kind of mentioned it, which is life purpose. I think one of the mistakes that a lot of people make about the twin flame journey is that they think that your twin flame is just this person who's supposed to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend or this awesome like relationship.
To
but
save
in
you.
truth, your union is actually life purpose. Like that's the purpose, is you have a life purpose with your twin flame that you are meant to do together. So the romantic part of your relationship will come. A lot of the times you will have to actually build a friendship with your twin flame before you go right into the romantic part of your twin flame relationship, which can be very frustrating for a lot of people. But you and your twin flame have a life purpose. And so I think a lot of people have a misconception of like not recognizing that you have a bigger purpose other than just being in a romantic relationship with your twin flame.
Yeah, that stays also in the book that it was shared before, the Twin Flame Finding Your Ultimate Lover. Twin flames share the purpose, like Anisha is saying. So if that purpose is not really being fulfilled, there isn't much purpose for you to be together either. So like, yeah, of course, like everyone wants the love fairy tale, like romance and like nobody's saying no to that. But at some point, like you will look at each other and it was like, yeah, if we are not doing what we are meant to be doing and partnering up together, this doesn't, okay, yeah, that's nice, but like you will feel a piece missing in your union. And like, yeah, just, and the cool thing is also like life purpose, like life purpose is, and twin flame journey are kind of like two sides of the same coin. So when you're focusing on your purpose without waiting for your twin flame to pop in your reality, you're actually manifesting them faster. That's how I got this guy. It's like, I'm gonna be an ascension coach and I'm gonna host a discussion group. And another week later, hello, I just got TFAS.
Yeah, quite
I joined your
attractive.
discussion group.
When you are doing what you love doing and not waiting for your twin flame.
Oh, don't wait on your twin flame. You're gonna like you're gonna wait a long time. That's the funniest thing. I think that's the funny thing that we sometimes see in our union too. Is like I'm waiting for him to do something and he's waiting for me to do it, and we are both in that. Like I'm gonna wait for the other one to do it.
Nobody's doing anything.
Nobody's doing shit. So yeah, like be proactive. Just
do what you love to do.
Yeah, seek to feel good about, because I think this is also something that we, and I say we because I'm guilty as charged. Like of course at the beginning I was falling for all these mistakes one after the other, without pause, without hesitation. So like experience taught me well not to do it anymore. But like absolutely you can start like exploring that and just doing what feels good to you, and don't really wait for your twin flame. It's not really about this other person, again, like he's a satellite that's orbiting around you somewhere in the ether. It's about first and foremost you having like a good relationship with yourself. When you do this, your twin flame comes like a fly to honey. It's really effortless. Like you have to put in the work, but in building that relationship with yourself. You do that, your twin flame is like all over you. Hey, what you doing? They don't stop messaging you. Like, what you doing? I want to do this. Dude, chill.
I have a question for you, Deb, because I feel like something you were sharing about like how you, before you got into union, you thought like, okay, like I'm free of debt with my credit card, and now here we are again, you know, with this thing, and you healed it. So I feel like just expanding a little, I know like we might be like a little bit over time maybe, but I feel like this is important. Like, and I don't know if you would like to share what was your main lesson of that, because I feel like that kind of like sums up, you know, because you didn't avoid to follow all the things we mentioned today. You didn't avoid, like you actually did the right thing by healing that, even though you were like, but how come? Like I worked so hard, I did all of these things, and now here I am again, but yet you persisted. And so I feel like that really, your healing here that you can share will sum up everything that we talked today.
In a nutshell, the lesson is, because we are still like working ourselves out of this debt, it's a debt that we have in our union with like about being ourselves, like our true authentic selves. And the more, of course, we heal into this place, the easier it would be for us to pay this debt. And of course, this manifests into like a debt with the bank. But if we sum it all up, like we've said at the very beginning, Kanisha opened this live saying like your twin flame is a mirror. You also mentioned it like quite often in your speech. And everything in your external reality is gonna be a reflection of something that is going on inside of you. So you address this, everything starts to fall into place. The hows and the whens are not up to you, like you were saying before, it's up to God. You just place the pieces as they come to the best of your abilities. Don't do more than you can. Don't chew more burgers than you can fit in your mouth. Don't do that. And that's it. That's basically kind of like at the core of the lesson of this challenge, that it's kind of like thought that was resolved but wasn't, was that it's just becoming more of ourselves.
Yeah, beautiful. And I think it's a lesson on like going deeper, you know, like how you mentioned too, like it was another layer. And I feel like that shows how the twin flame journey is an ascension path, and we're always ascending, and that never stops, which is why it's so important that, like, you know, we choose to make peace with the twin flame journey. I mean, everything in life is really like that. Like, we are powerful manifestors. And if we are in tune with ourselves, you know, with the power that we have to create, if we are fine with being ourselves, we're naturally going to create a beautiful life with our twin flame, you know. And so I find that very interesting, you know, how this debt, you know, that you had was really with yourself. And now that you are fully healing that and you're fully embracing your divinity, it feels really good in your life, you know. And I feel like this shows to everyone who's watching that it's a, you know, it's an example on persistence, how it doesn't matter what comes up on the outside, you have to, you know, always give the best that you can, you know, like Deb said, like, no, don't do it more than you can, but like always persist with the healing and trust that if this is in your reality, then it's because there is a deeper spiritual wound. And as you heal this, you're going to be with your twin flame. Because I guess this was also a part, like, this was a test for you guys, for your union. Like, here's your union, you know, like, and you said, okay, like, give me everything. I'll move through that. And you have been doing that. And here you are, you're still together and you're growing together. And that shows that that's the way, you know, you apply the teachings of union, you have support from coaches, and you are coaches as well, and you are fully invested in your relationship, in your life purpose, which is why you're able to be here in the first place, you know. So that shows already how, by avoiding all of these mistakes that we've mentioned today, you can have union, you know, with your twin flame and harmonious twin flame union. And so that's really powerful, and it's beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah, we've got a question here from Sarah. I've been focused on feeling better, keeping busy, distracting myself from thinking about my twin flame. I'm relieved that when I forget about him for a bit, because I don't want a TF-centric life. Is this good, or is it just running or numbing? Well, it sounds like it sounds like you're avoiding a certain feeling. If something's coming up related to your person or anything in your life, the mechanic is to dive into that uncomfortable feeling, do the mirror exercise until you come to a state of peace, of unconditional love, and then go live your life. That's what it means to put God first. But it's natural to think about your twin flame a lot. You're one with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and one
the
thing
feeling.
from this
Sorry.
question is that, yeah, like one thing from this question is that you are thinking, you know, like, oh, am I numbing? Am I feeling? Is this not? Is that you're in your mind? So Rachel mentioned, like, if you practice the mirror exercise, you're gonna be in your heart, and when you're in your heart, you're gonna have clarity naturally.
Yeah, it's safe to, like she said, dive in and just go into that place of fear, just because that fear is actually what I've had to learn on this journey. Is the fear is actually kind of my friend, because it's pointing to this place where I am holding on to the belief of separation. It's also pointing at the place of the misaligned belief that I'm holding on to. So when I truly look at it, I realize there's nothing there that is like going to hurt me or harm me. It's just indicating this place that needs a lot of love and attention. And so one of the things I tend to do at the beginning of my journey was I was suppressing my fears. I was suppressing looking at that feeling, because I had this belief that if I truly acknowledged the fear, that somehow I was going to manifest it. But by suppressing it is what actually will manifest it. So give yourself the space and the permission to just look at the fear and go into that space and love it, and you'll realize that that love is going to dissipate the fear. That's because only love is real, and it's safe to fully go into that space. And like Rachel said, it's completely normal to think about your twin flame all the time. You don't want to avoid that desire for your twin flame, because that desire is really what's calling them in the first place. And so it's safe to truly just go all in that space, go all in with love, and know that you're going to be completely supported if that's what you choose, and you have everything here to be able to support you through that.
Absolutely. If you're on your twin flame journey, you're already your twin flame journey. Like it's gonna be like twin flame center, because the journey actually encompasses every aspect of your life. So basically, just get clear: fear or peace.
Exactly. You have a choice: either fear or peace and love is being your teacher. So we recommend love being your teacher. And I feel complete here. How are you all feeling?
Same.
Perfect.
Just hint, hint, wink, wink. I mean, subscribe to Twin Flame Ascension is cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Hint. Sorry.
Hint.
Blank,
Yeah.
blank.
Take in all of the resources, if you can get all of the products, like it's just so much love. And it doesn't matter how many times you go through each course or each class, there's always something new. You're always receiving even more the next time around, and that's just the beauty of this work. So definitely check out twinflamesuniverse.com for the 8 free intro sessions. If you don't already have those, definitely check out the Ascension coaches here as well, because they're here to help you into your harmonious union. And other than that, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you all have a beautiful day. You take care.
Bye.